I've installed the DCS-Bios Hub with its interactive Lua Console to help identify possible values in the JF17 module for exporting to the Streamdeck plugin, which at the time of recording doesn't have an official export script. So I've included a link to the documentation for it in the description below, which you can follow to the point where you're able to connect to DCS, including the Lua Console. So if we go to the Lua environment here, within this we can look for text strings that we can add to our module export script to display in the Streamdeck. And for this we need to go to the export environment. To test that the Lua console is working, we need to return something. So if we return a string and click execute, we should see a response. So module data can be gathered from the list indication objects, which in this interactive Lua console we can just experiment to see what is included for the JF17. So with DCS running, let's try stepping through the numbered list indication indices to see what they contain. First, let's create a variable, just call it A, and set it equal to the list indication for 1 and return that variable. So for this, there's nothing included. But if we go to 2 and execute, now we'll see quite a bit of data that's been exported all in a large string. So scrolling down through here, we can start to see that these are actually the HUD text, where we have mock number, safe, nav, and all the pitch ladder information. And it's quite a lot to decipher, but I really don't have a use of this right now. So let's go to the list indication 3. So here we see the UFCP base, and here's the text window for the first window here. So this would be quite useful, and let's keep going through to see the other values. So here we have the second window. Here's the third window, and you can see it just has 8 spaces, which is good. And the fourth window. Okay. If we keep going, number 7, here we see the radio status. So if we look at here, we can see that the radio window content is displayed here. And it looks like there's also some information for squelch and other of these indications. So if we try change this, we see that goes away. And if we do some other things, so we can see that there are a lot of strings included based on the state of this and what's shown in this display. Let's look at the 8th. So here we have attitude display indicator, pitch ladder, and heading. Looks like. And some additional information there. If we go to 9, this looks like it's actually the MFCD content. So if you look here, you see that we have the range while scan and IFF control safe up at the top there. And if we scroll down, we can see the high and 40 range and additional button values. So if you wanted to have the values of the MFCD buttons shown, you could actually find their current display values within this list indication. And then for number 10, this looks like the HSD here. So we have map, TACN, some of these other buttons. And for 11, this looks like the clock. So if we execute again, we should see the values changing. And the UTC time. And here's the Latin long. This looks like it may be maybe some general game information. I'm not sure. And then 14, I'm not sure what this is, but that looks like that is the end of them. So what I'm interested in is these UFCP displays. So let's look back at that. So if we try changing this display, let's see what happens. And if we re-execute this, so now we see that there's just no string displayed for this first row. And if we go to the second window, we now see just 4 characters of the FP-A, and similar for the other ones. In the following video, I'll try to take what we've learned here and actually add it to an export script so that we can actually use it in the Streamdeck plugin.